Before time itself began, there was only the Ginnungagap, the yawning void, a vast emptiness stretching across the cosmos. On either side of this abyss stood two primordial realms. To the north was Niflheim, a world of ice and mist, where the 11 icy rivers of Elivagar flowed from their source at Velgermir, the roaring cauldron. These venomous waters spilled outward into the void. To the south was Muspelheim, realm of fire, blazing heat and chaos. It would one day become home to Surt, the fire Jotun, and his kin. As the rivers of Niflheim crept towards the fires of Muspelheim, their meeting caused the ice to melt. From one such pool in the Ginnungagap, Ymir emerged, the first of the Jotnar, an immense being born of frost and flame. Soon after, a great cow named Aulthumla appeared. Her origin is unknown, for no surviving poem tells her tale. She sustained Ymir, with rivers of milk flowing from her teats, while she herself drew nourishment by licking salty blocks of ice scattered across the frozen plains. From one such block, a man began to form, shaped gradually by her tongue. This was Buri, the first of the Aesir gods, and the forefather of all divine kind. Ymir and Buri each produced offspring. While we are told how Ymir managed his through strange and self-contained means, no source survives to explain how Buri fathered his son Bor. Bor would later take as his consort Bestla, a great-great-granddaughter of Ymir. From their union came 3 sons, Vili, Ve, and Odin. From the beginning of time, a deep conflict existed between the Aesir and the Jotnar. The root of their animosity remains unclear, but scholars often interpret it as symbolic. The Jotnar representing untamed, chaotic forces of nature, while the Aesir stood for cosmic order and civilization. This rivalry came to a head when Odin, Vili, and Ve confronted Ymir and slew the giant. The blood spilled in his death flooded the world, drowning all the Jotnar, save 2, Bergelmir and his wife, who escaped in a hollowed-out tree trunk. From Ymir's body, the brothers fashioned the world. His flesh became the earth, his bones the mountains, teeth and broken bones the stones, hair the forests, and his blood the seas. His eyebrows were shaped into a great barrier, encircling and protecting the realm of Midgard, home of humankind. This myth speaks mainly to the creation of Midgard, though the gods would go on to build their own halls and strongholds. The realm of Asgard already existed. Details of the creation of the other realms are sparse and debated. Some consider Hell a part of Niflheim, while others see it as a separate realm altogether. But at the center of all things stands Yggdrasil, the giant ash tree connecting the 9 realms. Its roots stretch deep into the lower worlds, while its upper branches carry the heavens. Some believe Yggdrasil to be the Viking understanding of the Milky Way, its stars interpreted through sacred myth. Yggdrasil draws water from 3 ancient wells: Utharbrunner, the Well of Fate in Midgard; Vergelmir, the Roaring Cauldron in Niflheim; and Mimisbrunner, the Well of Wisdom in Jotunheim. Where the tree came from, or whether it existed before all else, like Muspelheim and Niflheim, is never told. No illustrations or surviving stories explain how its branches link the 9 realms. Much of this knowledge was lost to time, as the Viking Age people rarely wrote down their beliefs. In Norse myth, 2 distinct families of gods exist: the Aesir and the Vanir. The Aesir are the more well-known, gods of war, power, and rulership. The Vanir are associated with fertility, nature, magic, and wealth. Only a few Vanir are named in surviving lore. And long ago, war broke out between these 2 divine tribes. Its exact cause is unclear, but many believe it began when the Aesir tried to destroy a Vanir goddess named Gullveig, who may have been Freya under another name. Gullveig survived their fiery attacks through dark sorcery, and the Vanir retaliated. The war raged for years, and neither side could triumph. Eventually, they made peace. As a sign of goodwill, the tribes exchanged hostages, a practice rare in Norse stories. As part of the truce, the Vanir sent 3 of their greatest deities to dwell in Asgard: Njorthr, god of seafaring, trade, and wealth; his son Freyr, god of peace, fertility, and abundance; and his daughter Freya, goddess of love, magic, and desire. Aside from Gullveig, no other Vanir are named in surviving myth. These 3 became key figures in Norse legend, fully integrated into the society of the Aesir. Thus the realms were born, the gods made peace, and the 9 worlds of Norse cosmology came to life, bound together beneath the canopy of Yggdrasil, beneath the gaze of Odin and the whispering winds of time. The Vanir were a divine tribe steeped in the rhythms of nature, their power tied to fertility, prosperity, and the lifeblood of the land. These gods and goddesses oversaw crops, cattle, and all the riches born from soil and season. Their connection to the abundance was no accident. Wealth and bounty, after all, were closely bound to harvest and herd. Njordr, the sea god of wealth and seafaring, was said to be the richest of all gods. His radiant hall, Notun, aglow with shimmering gold. Both he and his son Freyr would take Jotun women as their brides, living proof that the divide between god and giant was never as clear-cut as it might seem. The Aesir are the most renowned and populous tribe of Norse deities. Within their ranks stand the figures known to nearly all: Odin, Thor, Frigg, Heimdall, Air, and the ever-unpredictable Loki. All told, there are over 40 known Aesir gods and goddesses, many of them direct descendants of Odin himself, though not all origins are fully known. And here lies an intriguing truth. Many Aesir gods are of partial Jotun blood, some even 3/4 giant, like Thor. Despite the frequent conflicts between gods and giants, their bloodlines are deeply entangled. This reveals a truth from the Viking Age. Tribal and clan loyalty often outweighed blood, even among the gods. Take Loki, for example. Though counted among the Aesir and dwelling in Asgard, his roots lie firmly with the Jotnar. He fathered 3 of the most infamous beings in all myth: Hel, Fenrir, and Jormungandr, with the Jotun woman Angerbotha. And while the gods may seem immortal, they owe their long lives not to inherent divinity, but to the apples of the goddess Ithun. Without them, even the gods would wither and die. Where the apples came from remains a mystery, lost to time and unwritten sagas. Often labeled as giants, the Jotnar are the gods' most persistent adversaries. Sometimes called trolls, they are neither wholly monstrous nor uniformly immense. They range from terrifying forces of nature to beings of surprising beauty. The first of them was Ymir, whose immense body was used by Odin and his brothers to craft the world itself. His blood forming the oceans, his bones the mountains. He was so vast that all other Jotnar drowned in his blood after his death, save for the 2 survivors who carried on the line. At the other end of this diverse spectrum is Gerther, a Jotun maiden of such breathtaking beauty that Freyr fell in love with her at first glance. She stood among the Aesir in size and grace, her allure proof that not all Jotnar were monstrous. Some Jotnar would turn to stone beneath the sun's rays, while others, like Hrungnir, were made of stone to begin with. They are a chaotic people, wild, old as the cosmos, and often as misunderstood as they are feared. Beyond gods and giants dwell two other races, the Light Elves and their darker kin, often known as dwarves or dark elves. The Light Elves are radiant and near ethereal, said to be benevolent and good-natured, though little is truly known about them. Freyr, for reasons long lost, was made ruler of their realm, Alfheimr. The dwarves, or Dvargar, on the other hand, are far better remembered. They are cunning, clever, and master craftsmen of unmatched skill. Two pairs of dwarf brothers created many of the legendary items of the gods. Mjolnir, the hammer of Thor, Gungnir, Odin's spear, Skithblathnir, Freyr's ship, and countless others. When the gods needed to bind the great wolf Fenrir, it was the dwarves who forged Gleipnir, a magical fetter that could not be broken. The dwarves were not always virtuous. They once brewed a magical mead from the blood of Kvasir, the wisest being ever known. In another tale, 3 dwarves traded the necklace Bringskammen to Freya in exchange for nights spent with her. In the tale of Alvis, the dwarf arrives to claim Thrurthur, Thor's daughter, as his bride. The reason for the arrangement is lost to time, perhaps hidden in a tale now faded to memory. Thor, unwilling to give his daughter to a dwarf, challenges Alvis with riddles till the sun rises. Caught in daylight, the hapless dwarf is turned to stone. Like the Jotnar, dwarves too are vulnerable to the sun's light. Among the most iconic figures in Norse mythology are the Valkyries, the choosers of the slain. It is they who sweep across blood-soaked battlefields, selecting which warriors are worthy to ascend to Valhalla. There, the fallen do not rest. They rise again as the Einherjar, the chosen army of Odin, training endlessly for the fated battle of Ragnarok. Many Valkyries are known by name. Thrurthur, daughter of Thor, is among them. Though the sagas don't confirm it's the same Thrurthur, all signs suggest that it is, implying that Valkyries may come from various divine and mortal lineages. Among the most legendary is Brynhild, who falls in love with the mortal hero Sigurður. Yet, like many Norse tales, their love ends in heartbreak, betrayal, and death. Another tale tells of Helgi Hundingsbani, a mortal hero who not only loves a Valkyrie, but marries her. In the Lay of Voland, the Valkyrie Hervor the All-Wise weds the mastersmith, Volander. For 9 years they remain together, until she and her sisters once again answer the call of battle, leaving to choose the fallen once more. In Valhalla, the Einherjar live under a roof thatched with golden shields. By day they duel and die. By night they rise again to feast, drinking mead from the udder of the goat Heiderun, and dining on Sairmnir, the magical boar reborn daily to be eaten anew. It's a warrior's paradise, an eternal preparation for the end of days. At the heart of Norse belief was a truth few dared question. Your fate was sealed at birth. Carved in magical runes into the roots of Yggdrasil, or woven as spells beyond unraveling. This destiny was crafted by 3 ancient beings, the Norns, Urthur, Verthondi, and Skuld, lived beside the sacred well, Utharbrunnar. There, beneath the giant world tree, they tended to its roots, nourishing them daily with water and white clay. Swans dwelled in the well, beings said to be the ancestors of all living swans. Though the Norns could be stern, they were not cruel. At times, even Odin sought their wisdom. The gods themselves met each day by their well to debate the fates of gods and mortals alike. Most believe the Norns were Jotun's sisters, who somehow inherited their immense power. Others may exist beyond them, traveling through Midgard to shape human destiny at birth. But their true origins and the breadth of their influence remains lost in the mists of time. Few gods stir more chaos than that of Loki, the trickster whose loyalties are split. Half Jotun, yet living among the Aesir and Asgard. His legacy echoes through Norse myth, not just for his mischief, but for the monstrous children he fathered. With the Jotun woman, Angerbotha, Loki sired 3 terrible beings, Fenrir, Jormungandr, and Hel. Together, they would shape the twilight of the gods. Jormungandr, the world serpent, circles Midgard and stands as Thor's mortal enemy. In the end, they will slay each other. Fenrir, the great wolf, is destined to kill Odin at Ragnarok, only to be slain by Odin's son, Vidar. Hel, half dead and half living, rules over Helheim, the realm of the dead. Her fate after Ragnarok is not recorded. Perhaps she alone endures. To the Norse, the gods were ever present. Their will guided crops and kin, storms and sea. Life was filled with divine influence, and so too was death. Valhalla golden hall of the slain was the dream of every warrior. But not all who died in battle were chosen. Only the bravest, the most worthy, became Einherjar. Others would journey to hell, not a place of torment, but a quiet realm of the dead. In hell, the old, the sick, the unlucky, and even fallen warriors unchosen by Valkyries would dwell. Slaves, too, were believed to follow their masters beyond the grave. Burials included tools, animals, treasures, even slaves, based on the belief that what accompanied you in death would serve you in the next life. For those who drowned at sea, their souls were said to be claimed by Ran, goddess of the deep. Her net, cast wide across the waves, ensnared the dead, drawing them beneath the surface. Her 9 daughters, personifications of the waves, shared in this grim harvest. To avoid losing one's soul to the sea, many would carry a gold coin, a gift to Ran, hoping for mercy. This echoes of the Greek tradition of paying Charon to ferry the soul across the river Styx. Some sagas hint that Freya, goddess of love and war, claimed half of the slain for her hall, Sesrumnir, in Folkvangar. The reason why remains unclear. Why would a Vanir goddess need warriors? Why would Odin let her choose first? Perhaps this arose from confusion between Freya and Frigg, Odin's wife. Over time, myths shifted, names blurred, and traditions evolved between regions. Some even believe Freya led the Valkyries, choosing the finest warriors to join the Einherjar on Odin's behalf. But even the gods cannot outrun fate. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, was written long before it came. It is the end of the world. The final clash between gods and monsters, between order and chaos. Odin, driven by foreknowledge, pursued wisdom through every path, learning runes, seeking prophecy, and gathering the Einherjar in preparation. The enemy? Loki's children, the Jotnar, the undead legions of hell, and the fire giant Surtur. Jormungandr and Thor would meet one last time. They would kill each other in the clash. Fenrir would tear through creation, devouring Odin before falling to Vidar. Surtur, wielding a flaming sword, would slay Freyr and burn the world to ash. But even in the end, there is hope. Not all die in Ragnarok. Thor's sons, Magni and Modi, survive. The once dead Balder and Hulder return. Njordr, the Vanir god, is said to retreat to Vanaheimr, his homeland, proof that not all realms fall. The goddess's fates remain unspoken, but their absence speaks volumes. Still, in the ashes of Ragnarok, a new world rises. The cycle of creation continues. Even the end, it seems, is just another beginning.